Crazy Communion Fire for the Unhallowed Sacrament is the third full-length album from Blackevil. This is a German blackened thrash metal band, a black speed metal band, and an epic heavy metal band who cover all of those subgenres within their general oeuvre as they develop more and more through each record they release. This particular one just basically has better production values up front. I think that really is what makes this something special, and you'll see a pretty pronounced general development if you look back to where they started about 10 years ago. And naturally, they do have some history with black thrash metal. There are some black metal bands in their past, but their sound was always a mixture of traditional heavy metal and black metal, a la Disaster and Witching Hour. And I think when I'd reviewed one of the records in the past, I mentioned like Nocturnal Witch, which is a band that brings in more of the 90s black metal side of things into view. Now, that certainly changed as they put out this third record, which is a very different album for other reasons. And I think what we'll do is we'll cut to a clip here, and I'll talk a little bit about what's different here and what's kind of the same as well. So in hindsight, the second album from Blackevil really focused on that epic thrashing style, an epic heavy metal sound that had a black thrash metal composition to it, and in general, they've expanded upon that a little bit on this record. Parts of this record definitely call back there and focus on the riff in that same way. This is a band that has riffs in general. It's certainly the heavy speed metal type of action. There's a lot of leads in there too, and the thing that's most interesting about this record is that they've switched over to epic heavy metal quite a bit, and that even covers clean vocals. And so this isn't really just a black thrash metal band at all anymore. And I think that's something that's pretty notable in the sense that, like, if you enjoyed the second Butcher album or the third one that just came out today, there's a lot to like about Blackevil 2 that's for the same reasons. They've got some epic heavy metal, some speed metal. They've got influences from the new wave of traditional of British heavy metal in terms of the way they develop their melodies and present things like drum patterns, but there's a shrieking black metal vocal over a lot of it too. So there's what I would call some arena 80s heavy metal moments on here, but there's generally just riffs all over this thing, and the intense influences from epic heavy metal and speed metal really make this a special record. And not just in the sense that they're just consistent all the way throughout. I'd actually say that every song is different, and markedly so, and probably purposefully so. Each song stands on its own on this record. It really makes it something that is special and as an experience. It's something that feels different from song to song. There was a point where I felt like I was almost listening to another record, and that's always a good sign when I'm looking for variety in a subgenre that's been done so often. And so, yeah, there's a lot of ground covered here, but I think they'd almost had it right on their last record, and I feel like this is the one that gets it right in a way that it becomes Blackevil's signature. And I really hope they continue on with this sound, because if you're a fan of heavy metal at your core, then you'll understand what this band is all about. But if you love black metal, the attitude of it, you like thrash metal and speed metal and how all those things can marry together in a variety of different ways, it's cool that these guys can do it all and make an album that makes sense out of it. So very solid album. But as far as just pure guitar music and just loving the riffs and the compositions and the subgenre styles represented, I think they do a great job here on this record. It's their best one yet, and it's a record I'm pretty enthusiastic about in terms of going back and listening to it again when it comes time to pick the best of the year. So check that out for yourself. It releases today on October 25th, and read my review for more in-depth thoughts on what this album is all about and how it plays out song by song.